Jen. Okay, this is a video on Canapa skies. So, I did another video on posting the sales, and I kind of described the business a little bit, but basically Canapa Skies is a retail store that sells cannabis. So just like with the vacation rental, the process is really the same. Post the sales, post the expenses, match them to the bank. Obviously, obviously this is a bigger business, so there's a lot more transactions, but essentially it's the exact same process. So for Canapa Skies, when I was showing you how to use QuickBooks with my vacation property, I had you create the expenses in QuickBooks. For Canapa Skies, because there's so many of them, and because the client is in Vancouver, they use a program, or we use a program called Receipt Bank to upload invoices to, so that the client can upload their invoices into Receipt Bank, and then I can process them and do the accounting for them. So using Receipt Bank for Canapa Skies is kind of new. So some of them they've scanned in, some of them I'm uploading in. We're kind of still figuring out the process. But what I need help with right away is pushing the receipts from Receipt Bank into QuickBooks. So the two programs are already linked. And what's going to happen is the information is going to come into Receipt Bank, and then we're going to hit publish, and we're going to publish it, and then it's automatically going to push into QuickBooks as a expense. So this is receipt scanning software. So it means that there are computers that do most of the work. So what your job for this is going to be is to log on here. I would probably say once a week, once every 2 weeks, and just see if any information has been uploaded. So we are going to click on the first one and open it, and what we're going to see is a copy of the receipt. So this is basically what the client uploads it. And then what we see over here is the item details. And this detail, Receipt Bank has scanned this receipt to pull off. So what we need to do is make sure that they've done it right. The two things that are the most important to check, I mean, they're all important, but the things that are the most important to check is the name, the date, the total, and the tax. So we are going to take this one and we are going to go to the top. And the other thing to note here is Receipt Bank gets smarter and smarter the more you use it. So this is brand new using it. So it may not pull the information off the best right away, but as we use it more, it'll get smarter and smarter. So Staples Canada, Staples, doesn't matter if it says Staples Canada, Staples is good. Category expenses or supplies. So the categories that you're going to use are going, most of them are going to, there's a lot of them. Just looking to see what's in here. Might work at trying to clean this up for you a bit. Most of them is going to be expenses. Sorry, they're all going to be expenses. If you're unsure of where to post it, what expense account to use to post it, it'll take you a little bit longer at first as you get used to it, and then once you get familiar, it'll be pretty fast. Receipt bank will also just start to memorize where you want it. So let's say I didn't know where to post staples to. I would go, let's get stuck here. Oops, log me out. I would go into QuickBooks and I would look at the last time. So I'm going to go, so I'm in Canapa Skies. I'm going to go to expenses, suppliers. Not kick me out again. All right. QuickBooks, Canapa Skies. Expenses, supplier. And I'm going to type in staples. Yeah. All right, well, we've never posted anything to staples before. In that case, I would probably just go with the one that Receipt Bank thought. So supplies was already here. Supplies make sense, so we're going to go with that. The date. This is very important. Sometimes Receipt Bank doesn't scan the date properly. It'll flip these. It doesn't know if it's month, day, or day, month. So November 21st, November 21st. This is easy. It's all in Canadian dollars. So what's important here is that the total amount is correct. So the total 145.31 is correct. And then the other part that Receipt Bank is not getting right yet, but I think it will, is the tax. So we only pull out the GST, and that's for everything. So in Canada, anytime a company pays GST, we get it back. So we have to pull out the GST so that we can claim it back. So we're gonna have to change that. 649, 649, that's good. If we want to train Receipt Bank, okay, no, never mind. Forget I said that, ignore me. Yeah, so basically it just says, if they make a mistake, just fix it, and then it'll get smarter. Okay, so ignore that. So that looks good, that looks good. We're just gonna go publish. So what this is saying is that's a new supplier. So what it's warning us is that we're not adding the same suppliers multiple times. So, and then it's giving us a chance over here to see the suppliers. So let's say, for example, it came in and let's say it came through and it said Staples Canada. And then we hit publish and it says you're about to add Staples Canada. Then we might want to look and be like, we might see, oh, we already have Staples as a supplier. We don't want multiple names for the same supplier. But we're okay with that because we just looked in QuickBooks and we know that there's no suppliers because when we looked, there was no supplier for Staples. This means we've never bought from there before, so that's fine. Proceed. Okay, the next one. Basically, we're just going to go through and post them all. So Save on Foods. It's just going to be supplies as well. Just have to kind of look at the receipt and find the date. So the date is November 19th, November 19th. Expenses fine. Most things will be expenses. So now we just want to make sure the tax got pulled off right. Oh, it did. See, it's getting smarter. So GST 142, GST 142. So everything was right on that one. Yes, that's okay. Staples Canada. So this one, it looks like it didn't know where to put it. So we just put it to supplies. So we're just going to select supplies and the amount. So they didn't get this right. So the total amount is 176.19. They have 175.19. So we need to change that. The GST is $8. We need to change that. The date, Staples, yeah, we're good with that. Publish. Home Depot. So we're going to put supplies here as well as the expense category. So Home Depot, yes. The 12th, yes. The amount, the total is 150.01. The total is 150.01. The GST, tax amount, we just want to pull out the GST. Publish. So that's okay. We might get a lot of new suppliers right now just because we haven't been using this before. That's fine. Receipt bank. Receipt bank, you can just delete. Anytime receipt bank comes up, just delete it. I get billed for it, not the client. So for this one, we're just going to go delete. If you have any, so what's this one? Gradier shelving. Shelving, 191. Anytime that something is purchased that isn't going to be used up, in accounting, we capitalize it. So it's an expense if it's something like the staple stuff where it's like office supplies or cleaning supplies, or we're going to use it up. We're not going to use up shelving. So for shelving, we're going to post it to fixed asset tools and equipment. Those are a little hard to see, but 222482 HST GST is $10.04. So we're just going to change that. The total amount is correct. The date, November 4th, and we're going to publish it. If you don't know where to put something, so let's say you get here, BC Stamps work, you go over here, BC Stamps, nothing for BC, anything for stamps, nothing for stamps. So let's say you have no idea where to post this. In this case, you can just say, you can put a description here that just says where to post, or what category, and I think you put it there. Let me try. Then we're going to go back here. And right, the description line will come over here in the description, and you can just write notes here. And I will just come and it says, so if you write here what category you don't know, after you go through everything, let's say you have like 10 of them that you're not sure the categories, then just say what category and send me a message and just say I've posted everything that I can, the rest I don't know, and then I'll just tell you all. I'll go through here and tell you the categories. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through and put the category for most of these so that you'll have it, and then it's just a matter of you going through and so Home Depot can go there. We're going to go supplies here. Post office, just go office supplies. So that'll be office supplies. Home Depot, just be supplies. Metro Canada will be if there's a just gonna put a note here. Need auto car expense. I'll go through and create a auto car expense. Pizza. I will add meals expense. Home Depot supplies. Home hardware supplies. Shoppers. You can look at that and see. Office. Supplies. What is, okay, so office, post, car park. I'm gonna need to create a car and office. Supplies. Most things can just go to supplies. BC stamps work. So if you want, you can go down here and fill the category out first, and then so that one we did. So I'll take that off. And we're going to go in and we're going to go category. Office. GST. We want to make sure that's 891. Touch. Yep, that's fine. So we're going to change that from miscellaneous to supplies. The GST is 145. The total amount is right. The date is right. Push. So every time, if we go back, every time we hit publish, we are pushing it from out of Receipt Bank into QuickBooks. So if you could just go through here and let's Tizzle let me tell you what this, I'm guessing we're buying, we are gonna put Pizzle to store supplies. Supplies. Home Depot. Supplies. So we can add the category here. I'm going to put this one to equipment. So this one, we're going to do supplies. Pizza Garden. Meals. Okay. So go through here and put the expense accounts to everything that you know. If you don't know what the expense accounts should be, just put a note over here. And then once you have the expense accounts, go to the first one that isn't green and open it, and then that's where we get the detail. Then we can just, the 15th expense, yes. The amount, see this amount is wrong. The tax is wrong. The date is right. Publish. Pizzle. So the amount 39.19 is right. The GST is wrong. Okay. The date October 23rd is right. The vendor is right. Publish. So the date is right. The amount is right. The tax is wrong. Publish. Okay. So I'm going to stop now, and you can just go through and do the rest, all the ones that you can. I'm going to create a auto expense account and a meals and entertainment expense account. Actually, I'm just going to pause the video for 1 second and do that because I want to teach you something. Okay. So I went through and added a auto expense and a meals and entertainment expense. I'm going to delete that and delete that. Okay. The one thing you need to note is anytime that we use meals and expenses, and this is in any company, we're only allowed to use half of the GST. That is just a weird Canada tax law thing. Any money that a company spends in GST, they get back. And Canada says you can only get half of it back. So even though it says it's 93 cents, we're only allowed to record 46 of it as what we want to get back. So the Pizza Garden, yep, 10:04, date's right, 22:38, 22:38, only because it's meals and entertainment, it's half of the GST. So we have auto now for this one, so Petro Canada, yay. The date, September 9th. The amount is $15. GST is kind of sneaky, it's down here, 71, they got it right. Perfect. Fine. So there's a few more that just uploaded. Liquor distribution branch. So this is where all of this is where all of the cannabis is purchased from. And this always needs to go. I'm going to pause it again for 1 second. It needs to go to inventory. I don't think I've got it set up right. Okay, liquor distribution always goes to other current asset. It's inventory. Maple Craft. This is inventory as well. Inventory. I'll leave this here. Fumble and Hume is inventory. Inventory. They only buy inventory from a few people, so you'll just get to know it. These ones here. Oops. Inventory. So all of these are going to be inventory, 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 inventory. Okay. So I'm going to leave this for you to go through and take your best shot at it. So this says ready, but we actually haven't gone in and made sure that it's correct. So July 31st, July 31st, BC Liquor Branch, the date's correct. The total, 30,000 is correct. The GST on these big ones is really important that it's right. They got that right. Okay, perfect. You'll see. Another thing that you can do, I'm just going to show you this quickly. If it's faster, you can go into the archives and see every invoice we've ever posted. So if you can't remember where to BC Liquor, archives. Maybe there aren't any archives yet. Oh no, these are all archives. So these are all, if you archives, these are all the old ones. You can sort by supplier, or you can search. And you can pull up the last time that an invoice was published and see what the expense code was. So that may be, it's probably faster than going into QuickBooks. So if you can go through and put the category, check the amount, and publish. Any ones you need help with, just don't publish and leave a description, and then let me know when you're done. That is awesome. Thank you.